Well, it is day number 82 inside of our 30K in 90 days challenge. And we are going to be talking about setting some clear goals. Ladies and gentlemen, with only 8 days left in this challenge, I want to make sure that you are set up and set up right to move forward after this challenge is over. So, we're going to talk about setting some clear goals. I'm going to give you 3 surefire steps to do so. And before we jump into it, let me do my little intro. My name is Tracey Walker. I want to welcome you guys here today. I am a baseball mom. I'm a documented 7-figure earner here inside of the digital marketing space. I've been full time on the internet making money online since 2008. I've taken these digital marketing skills that I learned back then in the day and can still use them. And a lot of the principles are still very, very applicable today. Although we may have changed platforms or evolved or enhanced, the things are the same. So I've been able to use these skills in almost three different types of niches, right? One, the network marketing niche, made close to $2 million only on the internet, not doing home parties or meetings or any of those different things. Just what I know about digital marketing, built a team of over, I don't know, 30, 40, 50,000 people all around the world, and did it in about 2 years. Okay. I've also been able to take these skills and apply it to the affiliate marketing niche. So now we're not talking about building teams. We're not talking about trying to get other people to do what I'm doing, but ultimately making sales, right? Making sales. And any affiliate program I've chosen to affiliate myself with, I have been at least, if not the top earner or the top producer, I've been one of the top earners or one of the top producers over and over and over and over again. Okay. Why? Not because there's anything special. Well, I am kind of special. But aside from that, it's because of these skills. And this is what I've been teaching you over the past 81 days. All right. And then last but not least, guys, I have created my own products and services. So I know how to not only sell other people's stuff, but I can create and sell my own stuff. So a host of courses and trainings and video tutorials and downloads and ebooks and blueprints and worksheets and manuals and the whole nine coaching programs. I had my first $10,000 day back in 2010, guys. So I've been making some money for a long time, okay? And been through the ups and the downs, all right? So that's my journey with the skill set. And then in reference to me, I am what I would call a digital or a marketing expert. Okay. And that is because, as I get older, I don't know about you guys, but as I get older, like I don't like to work hard. Okay. I don't mind working. I don't mind, providing food and paying for where me and my child live and having the life that we have. I don't mind earning what I want and what he wants and needs, but I don't like to work really hard for stuff, especially in today's day and age. I've learned a lot about working smart and I've learned a lot about leverage, and systems and automations and tools assist me in doing that. I don't like emailing people all day, every day. I like to have my autoresponder do the work. I type the email out one time and it can go out to thousands of people at one time. Okay. I do not like doing a whole bunch of videos over and over and over. So I post them. They're here. They're native on YouTube. They're native over on Facebook, wherever I'm streaming, and people can tap in at any given time and get access to the information I was sharing at that point in time. So I like the way that automation and tools work. I like having an automated sales process where I don't have to get on the phone and talk to everybody about my offer, where I have to get in the DMs constantly and sell people in those ways, where I don't have to be on a Zoom every Tuesday or Thursday or be on a conference call. Any of these things that I absolutely need to stop doing what I'm doing to go and do the business. I'm at a point where my son is the most important thing. He is. And he plays on 2 baseball teams. He plays flag football. We got to do practices for all 3 of those teams. We got to do games for all 3 of those teams throughout the week. And he's in the 5th grade. Okay. So we've got school, we've got sports. He goes to the gym twice a week with his trainer. And like, for real, he's still 10. So we've got to hang out. We got to do fun stuff. He want to go bowling. He want to go to the Braves game, right? So I just don't have a lot of time to be fighting with folk about why they need to change their life. I like to leverage it. And listen, I'm going to tell you this: the right people can make a decision to say, you know what? I'm ready to do something different. And that's why you are here, right? Okay, so good. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's talk about setting these goals, all right? Um, you guys know that, they say you have to plan your work and work your plan, okay? I know way too many adults who do not take the time to even remotely write down what their expectations are of themselves or their business or their family or their finances or whatever. Most people are just out here winging it because that is the way they were taught. Most people's parents did not teach them how to write goals. Most people's parents did not teach them how to set, expectations or minimum standards or any of these types of things. And I'm not faulting anyone. I'm saying, as an adult, at some point, you've got to realize that you've got to set a goal and go for it. All of you guys that sit around and you watch football or basketball or baseball, or if you have young ladies in gymnastics or any type of sports, basketball, volleyball, you guys know good and doggone well that the goal is to win the damn game, don't you? You know that your team's goal is to win the game. So when they're in practice, what are they practicing? They're not practicing winning the game, are they? No, what they're practicing are the skills that allow them to dominate on offense and defense in such a way that they are effective and that they are efficient. And enough consistency of effectiveness and efficiency can win games. Right? So nobody's at home practicing how to win a game. They're practicing the fundamentals of the skill of the thing that they're doing. So you know that watching sports, the goal is to win the game or to win the series in baseball, right? Or to win the world championship, to win the World Series. That is the goal. Okay. So what is your goal though? Right? So what you have to do is you've got to set clear objectives. This is number one. You've got to set clear objectives, monetary and non-monetary. Okay. It's not just always about money. For example, we're talking about digital marketing. We're talking about YouTube, right? So maybe it's not about making money. Maybe your goal is record one video a week or record two educational impactful videos a week. Maybe it is make 4 sales a week, right? Maybe it is that, right? Maybe this helped 4 people get started in their business this week. Maybe it is, hey, make sure that I have 5 pieces of content going out every day, or 3 pieces, or whatever it is. So you have to set a clear objective. Like, what is it that you're going to do that, and you're going to make sure it's done before you go to bed at night. See, that's kind of how I've done with this 90-day challenge, right? I do this challenge every single day. Why? Not because you're making me, not because a boss is making me. It's because, as Bob Proctor said, you got to learn how to give yourself a command and follow it. Give yourself an instruction and follow it. Because if you can't follow your own instruction, which is called leadership, integrity, then as people observe you and they're observing you falling through, they observe you say you're going to do something, then you don't do it. And you're observing people half-ass stuff. You observe that. What is your confidence level in that person? Not that that person cares, but it's about what you think as it relates to you, right? As it relates to you. It's not about what you think about that person as it relates to that person. It's about what you think and how you observe. And then you get to decide whether or not you're going to align yourself with someone who displays inconsistent tendencies on a regular basis. Are we all inconsistent at times? Absolutely. We're human beings. But you know the difference between someone who's normally consistent and something must be a little off, so they're inconsistent, versus a person who is virtually fundamentally inconsistent, right? You know the difference. And so you don't want to be that person. You want to be the person to set clear objectives, give yourself a command, and follow your own command so that you can begin to be the type of leader that when you're out sharing content and you want to attract an audience, you want people to, jump onto your email list, you want people to follow your directions, then you got to lead. That's leadership. Okay. You do not get to just be a leader just because you're a certain age or just because you're a man or just because you're a mom. That does not in itself make you a leader. It's skills and experience that lends itself to that. So I want you to set some clear objectives, right? How many pieces of content are you going to do every day? Okay. This is a new month. This is a new month at the time of the broadcast, time of this day 82. It's a new month, right? We're now in the month of October. So, what are you going to do in terms of pieces of content every day? And stick to it. What are you going to do in terms of your video? What are you going to do in terms of emailing your list or sending out a newsletter, possibly weekly or daily, right? What are you going to do? How many sales is your objective to make for the week? How much money does that equate to? If you make 4 sales, how much money is that, right? So, set some clear objectives, not, oh, I want to make more money. That is not clear. That's like going to the restaurant and saying, oh, I'd like to have more food. What is the waitress supposed to bring back to you with that type of information? That would be ridiculous, right? So as you are speaking your world into existence, then you need to say, I would like a lemonade mixed with sweet tea. Specifically, not just I want a drink, right? Because it could be water, it could be lemonade, it could be milk, it could be sewage water for all we know. Okay. So you need to be specific and clear with what the objectives are, monetary and non monetary. All right. That's number one. Number two of the three is now you've got to create consistent habits and routines. Okay. Like if I say, I'm going to do my objective is to do a 90-day challenge, right? That'd be my objective that I set, right? 82 days ago. That's my objective that I set. And then I do not create the consistent habits and I do not create a routine for what I'm doing, right? In other words, there's things that go on behind the scenes that you don't see. Every day I come in here and I set my headline. I type out my description. I make sure the right links are there. I make sure my bullet points are done. I make sure that what I'm going to be talking about, I'm clear on what if I need to have notes, I can reference my notes, right? I make sure that I have a routine by which I'm doing something because then that becomes muscle memory, right? I can almost do it without even thinking about it. And then it creates a pattern. That is what is called consistency. Okay. And when you build a new habit that is in alignment with what you say that you want back over here with your clear objectives, okay, well, see, then now they're either going to be in alignment or they're not. Because if your habits and routines are not in alignment with your objectives, you will not get the thing. If I say I want to do a 90-day challenge and it's been 10 days since I did a video, that would not be consistent and that would not be a routine by which one, I can honor myself in, or B, set any sort of expectation with you as to what you can expect from me, or give you any sort of inspiration to say, you know what, I've watched Tracey do this and I can create my own thing, or whatever you want to do in a period of time. You can say, I've watched somebody do something for 90 freaking days, right? I can do it for these 10, or I can do whatever I want to do for these 30, or whatever. I can't even be a good, solid example for you if I'm in my shiftlessness and my triflingness. That was what my calculus teacher, I think I was a sophomore or junior in college at FAMU, and his name was Dr. Anderson. And me and one of my frat brothers, we every time we talk or I see him, we talk about Dr. Anderson because we actually met in that class. He was an engineering student, and I was a business, an MBA student, and he had dual enrollment because of the engineering. Engineering was FSU, FAMU, right? And therefore, we had classes that overlap with a lot of that engineering students, especially on the math side of things, right? So business. So we had this math class and this calculus class, and Dr. Anderson would literally be like, hey, you guys are being shiftless and you're trifling. Now, my professor was saying that when I was in college. In high school, my volleyball coach would say, you need to stop yaki dakiing around. You see, my mother used to say, you're going to stop assing around with me. That's what my mother used to say. So, see, I have been in environments where my home life was about get it on track, lady. Okay. Where my sports people, my sports coaches have been like, focus. Let's get to the business at hand. Let's stay on task. Even where my collegiate professors have reminded that if we do not have these things in place, you are displaying behaviors of being shiftless and trifling. And therefore, you must fix that. So, your consistent habits and routines will speak volumes for whether or not you're at least heading in the right direction based on the clear objectives that you set. All right, got it. Now let's move on to the third and final thing inside of your setting your clear goals. Okay, on day number 82. What you want to do is you want to track your progress along the way. Okay, let's talk about real business. Let's not talk about this rinky dink stuff that a lot of people think they're doing. Okay, look, there is no real business. Okay, look at YouTube. Let's just talk about YouTube. Do you think YouTube does not have any type of quarterly or monthly reports or tracking or revenue models, growth models, subscriber models, content? You don't think they have any type of parameter by which they grow their business, advertising policies? You don't think that there's anything? They just get up every day. If they feel like doing YouTube business, they do YouTube business. If they don't, they don't. And then after 6 months or 7 months of running YouTube, nobody knows how far along anybody's come. Nobody has any revenue projections. Nobody has any operational adjustments. Nobody has any types of updates to present to anybody. Everybody just running around the corporate office ad hoc, however they want. I want to ask you, you want to make big bucks, but you don't even want to track what you're doing? I mean, my son plays baseball. There's stats. Like, I can go on Game Changer and I can go to his team. In fact, I can go to his team, any of his teams. And guess what? I can go to his teams all the way back to when he first started. Well, you can't see because the screen is white, right? But I can go back to every team he's been on since he was 7 years old. That's tracking the progress, right? I can see. Let me go back. Past seasons. Okay, let me go back to his very first team. His very first team. Let me go to his stats. Okay, I can see Jay Mize for his entire rookie season of ever playing baseball, ever. He was on a pitching machine, his team, right? Pitching machine, pitched the ball out at 40 miles an hour. I can see that he played 11 games. I can see he had 35 plate appearances. I can see he had 35 at-bats, and he was averaging 714 because it's being tracked. It's being tracked. So I can look at that and I can say, okay, his on-base percentage was 714. Let's see, slugging at 971. He had 25 hits. He had 18 first base singles. He had 5 doubles and he had 3 triples. His very first season ever playing baseball, I can track this. He had 13 RBIs. He had 8 runs. He had 6 strikeouts, but he had 0 strikeouts looking. Right? Okay. So you guys get my point. All right. Now that was his very first game. Okay. Now let me go to his current team right now. His current team right now and where he is right now. Okay. So right now, Jay Mize, right? They've had 6 games so far on this team. He's had 17 plate appearances. He had 12 at-bats and he's batting .583. He's batting .583, okay, 706 on base percentage. I'm talking about tracking and stats.
Hi, guys.
And let's see, slugging 750. He's had 7 hits. He's had 5 singles, 2 doubles, 1 RBI, 8 runs. What's this? Oh, is this walks?
Yeah.
He's had 4 walks. He's had 3 strikeouts. And he got hit by the pitch one time. And that was just this past game.
Yesterday.
Yeah, he just got hit in his helmet yesterday. I'm like, what the? Thank God for helmets, right? Okay. He took it like a man and hustled on down to first base. Okay. He's got 9 stolen bases. Okay. His stolen base percentage is 100. He hasn't got caught stealing. Now, am I saying that to brag on my son? A little bit. Yeah, I am. But my point is that how can his batting coach, how can any of his coaches assess his growth? It's not about being perfect. It's about growth. Can we track growth? Right? His very first season, a machine was pitching out at 40 miles an hour. And ever since that year, it's been kid pitch, right? So kid pitch is a little bit different. Okay? Actually, it's more realistic as baseball. because no major league player is hitting from a pitching machine. So if they're tracking little league, if they're tracking travel ball, if they're tracking grades in school, that's called a transcript, right? You can't graduate, or like I couldn't even pledge Delta without a transcript from my college, right? Saying, here are the grades, here are the classes, here's the GPA, because somebody's got to be tracking this stuff. So everything around you is being tracked, except you're not tracking anything in your business. And then you have this amazement look, this look of surprise, this element of surprise, as if you don't understand why you're not getting better. So as we move forward, you've got to track your progress along the way. And the way that I give it to everybody, the way I teach this is through the concept of ready, fire, aim. I do not go by ready, aim, fire. That may be for the military. That may be for people that actually do that whole thing, right? Because that makes sense in that element. But we're talking about business. We're talking about thought processes. We're talking about taking actions that will not harm another person if we do something wrong, right? We're talking about growing. We're talking about learning. We're talking about adjusting and evolving. So that means ready. Ready means, hey, okay, I'm going to get started with this program. I'm going to buy this training, and I'm going to sit myself down and prepare myself to enhance my own skills. In other words, upgrade my software. Okay. Then what I'm going to do as I go through this material, I'm going to do what the material is telling me to do. I'm not going to just try to perfect it and assess it all and read the whole entire book like they teach us in college, right? Write a whole dissertation, write a whole thesis statement. And then after all of my theory is done, I'm going to go back and try to find some practical experience that I can apply to all this theoretical bullshit that hasn't gotten you nowhere. This is the difference between usually the academics, the academia people, and the entrepreneurial people. The academia people, which I think I'm an academia person a little bit, I was indoctrinated in academia, is you learn. You got to know the stuff. You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to debate. You got to be able to support your stance. You got to be able, if you're going to say something, you got to be able to back it up, at least have some proof of something, right? Whether somebody else likes your proof or not, you bring it to the table, right? You got to be able to basically do your job, right? You got to be able to sustain. You got to be able to prove that you are worth the performance evaluation that you deserve for your raise coming up, right? That is the way academia. But entrepreneurial minds, we're not basing it off of how smart we are. We're not basing it off of how much you know. We don't care how much you know. All we care, do you know one thing really, really good? Because it doesn't matter how much. Do you know at least one thing really, really good? Because it was Bruce Lee that said, I'm not afraid of the man who has practiced 1,000 kicks one time. You know 1,000 different kicks. You know 1,000 different ways. You know 1,000 different things, but you only executed that kick one time. He said, I ain't afraid of that guy. He said, I'm afraid of the guy that has practiced one kick 1,000 times. Because that is what breeds expert status. So entrepreneur, we don't care about how much, we care about how deep, how much of an expert are you in that one thing, in those one or two things. So this is why you need to track your progress. Where are you going? Are you getting better at this stuff? Are you getting enhanced? Are you learning? If you're struggling with it, great. Are you overcoming it? Are you getting assistance? Are you getting coaching? Are you getting help? Are you getting a trainer? Are you getting someone to help you? What is it that you are doing to get yourself over the hump? Well, if you don't track the progress and you go off of your feelings, I don't feel like this working. Or you go off of, pure results and you're 30 days in. Pure results. You want pure results. So for something you ain't never did before. And now you read you watched the video 2 times and you implemented it 1 time. You didn't halfway understand it. And then after 30 days, you paid your monthly fee. Now you mad that your monthly fee of $30 or for whatever it is now more than what you've made after 30 full days of you doing absolutely nothing but just half-assed it. This is how a lot of us are when we're getting into the entrepreneurial world. But you know good and well, you would not go on that job. You would not go on that job, work 30 days, and ask those people, how come you don't have your whole year's salary yet? You know, you only go get paid in increments in which you work. But in entrepreneurship, because it is no parameter, you think that the lack of parameter in terms of what is possible instantly applies to you with no skill, no effort, no consistency, no objectives and goals set, and no tracking of your progress along the way. So we've got to be ready over here, and we got to just keep firing, 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 firing. And as we fire, we will see a result. And that result we get to match and assess against another result that occurs because we fired again. We didn't quit after the first fire and didn't get the right result, or we were off, right? We were trying to get a bullseye, but we were off to the right, okay, or left, or whatever it is from you guys looking at this, okay? I don't know what's direction. This is my right, okay? But here's the thing. You got to keep firing, 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 firing so that you have at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 darts on your dartboard so that you can see, okay, I've got 8 darts over here to the left and I've got 2 darts at the bottom. So what I need to do is I need to turn a little bit to the right and I need to aim up. That is how you make an assessment. But if you throw 1 dart and you're like, I didn't make it, you don't even know. You don't even know what you need to do because you don't even see what the tendency is. Okay. So ready, fire, and then aim, then adjust, then make the proper adjustments that you need to make. All right. So now that you know the 3 things that you're going to do to help set some clear goals, you're going to be ready to rock and roll, and you're going to be ready for day number 83. Because I've got a question I've got to ask you. Okay, day number 83. In fact, I'm going to be doing day 83 right after this because today is a double header. like the Braves, okay? It's a double header. And we're going to talk a little bit about some things as we move forward into the last 7 days of this whole 90-day challenge, okay? So check this out. Write these things down. I want you to set some clear objectives. I want you to write down some objectives. Give me 3 to, not give me, but in the comments, write down 3 to 5 objectives. Okay. And then I want you to also write out what things are you going to do? What are you going to do consistently every day? Okay. It'd be 1 or 2 things. It doesn't have to be a long litany of things. Okay. Oops, sorry guys. And then you won't be able to write down track progress, but I want you to make a commitment to yourself that you are going to track your progress. Okay. So listen, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure that if you have not gotten your hands on my passive daily pay blueprint, it is the 7 steps to creating an online business with passive daily pay. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on the link below in the comment section. It says, get the blueprint. It says, get the blueprint. If you're watching this over on Facebook, it's in the comments, okay? It's in the comments. It says, get the blueprint. When you click on that link, it's going to take you over to my website where it's going to ask you for your email address. Put the right email address in there because my automated email system is going to send you an email with a link to the PDF of the blueprint. Now, if you put in a bogus email address, well, you're going to give somebody else the goods to your $30,000 in the next 90 days. Now, if you into giving everybody what's due you, then so be it. Bless somebody else for Pete's sake. But if you like to actually get your hands on it and know the 7 steps, just go ahead. It's free. Click on the link, get the blueprint, and be good to go. Watch the video. Okay, watch the information and let's make sure we're ramping up because I want you to have an extra $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 by the end of this year for Christmas time. For those of you that celebrate Christmas and you want to buy gifts and presents, I don't want you to go broke doing that. I don't want you to be in debt to do that. I want you to give because you want to give and you're giving because your cup runneth over. You don't need to be going in debt trying to fulfill some sort of requirement that you believe that you need to fulfill and putting yourself in harm's way moving into the next year. Let's stop repeating the same thing, expecting a different result. So let's make sure we're on track, okay? And let's make sure that we're using the 7 steps to help ourselves to make better decisions, to put ourselves in better positions so we can make some better money, okay? In a better, easier, more lucrative, more time-free type of way. All right. So with that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to be back here shortly with day number 83. I look forward to seeing you over there. And in the meantime, get going on those 3 assignments, those 3 steps in today's assignment. Bye for now.